Now, let's take this up to the government of the United States. In 2006, America posted a deficit of $450 billion. How did she get a deficit? She gets revenue from taxing, excise taxes, tariffs, taxes on corporations, trade. She builds her revenue base. All the money that came into the Treasury last year was not enough to equal what she had budgeted for that year. And the money that America took in taxes couldn't even pay the interest on what she already owed. So this is called a Federal Reserve note. They have United States currency, you see it in red. But the Federal Reserve note is in green. And they make sure they get that red one back. Now here you got a note. This is not created by wealth creation. This is created by debt. So the more debt America owes, the more the Federal Reserve gives the engraving corporation instructions to print more money. And the more money that they put in circulation, the weaker the dollar becomes, because there's nothing backing this dollar but the gross national product of America, the symbolic value of America, and the military might of America. That's what backs the dollar. Now hear me.
All right, greetings, family. How's everyone doing on this beautiful Friday morning? I hope everybody's getting paid on this Friday. So it's payday Friday. So we always love Fridays, but you know, some of us get paid every day. Some of us get paid in our sleep. Some of us get paid when we're woke, when we're doing anything else, because we understand leverage and how to network and utilize systems that benefit the greater whole. So here's your brother Supreme, family, CEO of Far Money Network, and today's topic, what we want to talk about today is we want to just go over what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was talking about, which was a lecture that he did back in 2007. That was back in 2007, titled "The Decline of the United States Dollar." You can go to YouTube and watch that whole lecture, right? But I just wanted to play a clip. And I wanted to get into, because what we do in Far Money, you know, we always want to keep our eyes on the real enemy, the real perpetrator who has deceived the whole world with this dollar, with this useless dollar that they have deceived the whole world, and they got the whole world in debt and they got the whole world in poverty, right? So we just want to go and show some facts and show some numbers about it this morning. That's what we wanted to do, because we want to go into the science of business, the science of banking, right? So we want to keep everything into these science so you can understand that these systems, which is a science, operate in a system. You can't have science without a system. You can't have science without mathematics. So the enemy utilizes his system and his political power, his banking power. They utilize this to keep us in a certain type of box. Yes, some of us come out of the box, but you won't come out of the box until you understand how the dollar is created, how the banking system really functions, with the creation of the Federal Reserve. Once you get that understanding, then not only can you come out of there, but then you can teach your future generations how to spot the trick, how to understand the trick, and how to function inside of the trick, but not be snared or not be bamboozled by the trick. So a lot of us is bamboozled by the trick because it's so complex. And they did this purposely, and a lot of people is not willing to really step up and really talk about this. So when you go into our community, if you are black, when you go into our community, you really don't see people talking about the Federal Reserve that look like us, right? You just don't see it, right? Now you go and you seeing other people talk about it, Mike Malone, Peter Schiff, Robert Kiyosaki, you know what I'm saying? But you just don't see, and you don't see no celebrities talking about the Federal Reserve and what they're doing, right? So, and it's so deep, I can't even get it all over in one stream, right? And I'm gonna try to stay calm. So let me just pull up the debt clock, right? So we can get a look at this debt. So now when the minister said that their debt was way lower than this, and ironically, I did a video 6 months ago. So this November, 6 months ago was April. No, May. 6 months ago was May, right? I did a video and the debt was like 17 trillion. I can go pull the video up and show you. I showed the debt clock and the debt. It was 6 months ago. 17 trillion the national debt was. Now, this national debt is 27 trillion 271 billion 794 million, and that's gonna go up by millions while we on this stream. This going in real time. And I know a lot of y'all saying, well, this don't affect me. Yes, it does. Because this is why you're getting taxed. Let me say that again. Hear me. Let's let this plain. That's why you're getting taxed, because right by the national debt, it got debt per citizen. Then it got debt per taxpayer. Right? Y'all following it. So all of the citizens in America, no matter how old they are, we are indebted to the international bankers for $82,477. If you're a taxpayer, you are indebted $218,452. Right? This is on their site. This is what it say. This is what it means. So this meaning babies, no matter how old they is, and this meaning future babies are being born are coming into this debt. Right? This is one of the main reasons why we have a Social Security number. That makes you a corporation, and that ties you to the bigger corporation, which is America, right? Which is the United States. That's the corporation, right? It ties you to that. Now I know this might be unfathomable. We can't really fathom the debt, but it's to understand how we actually paying on this debt, right? But the way we are paying on this debt is because we are always taxed. For everything that we do, we are taxed. You buy something, it's taxed. Just think about it. Go to the store. Anything you buy is sales taxes, county tax, state tax, right? Some states don't have state tax, but they all have sales tax, right? Anything you buy, there's a tax on it, right? So this is us paying into this debt. This is a tax. Then you got corporate tax. You got income tax. So everything is taxed. Everything is taxed. So if we don't understand this game and understand how this really works, then we are just snared by it. That's why the wealthy always look for ways to have tax breaks and tax deductions, because they know everything that they do inside of America is going to be taxed. Right? Listen, our purchases are taxed. You can go buy a candy bar, it's taxed. The sale tax, right? This is significant to what we have to understand on about the creation and the function of the Federal Reserve in this whole central banking system. When we talk about the central banking system, we talking about the major banks: Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Region, Citibank. We talking about these major banks. We talking about the bank in China, HSCB, BC, right? That bank over there in China. We talking about Deutsche Bank. We talking about these major banks that run the monetary policies throughout the world. However, and all of us have these bank accounts. These little credit unions are tied to the bigger banks. So don't get it twisted. Just because you're in a credit union don't mean you outside of. They still operate by the central banks. The Federal Reserve is the head of the central banks. This is just, we just had to get an understanding on what this is. You know what I'm saying? No knock on you for you doing whatever you doing, but this is knowledge and this is information that we need, we should, we must know. Because this is the big game and the big scam that got the whole world in poverty. Right? And their greatest tricks is for them to give us this dollar, and make us think that it has some real value. Well, it doesn't. It's paper with a president on it. Yeah, it spins for now. It spins, it'll buy something, but it doesn't have any real intrinsic value. The value of this is really zero. It's nothing. It's paper. It's just a medium of exchange. It's petty cash. It is not real money. Right? And the enemy knows this. That's why they print this. Now, to take this up a notch, the Federal Reserve, now this is going to blow you now, but you can research everything that I'm saying, and we got videos to show you to prove what we're saying, right? The Federal Reserve has corporate owners or shareholders to the Federal Reserve. They got stock in the Federal Reserve because the Federal Reserve is not federal. Now, any other federal agency, they don't have that attached to it, right? That's really against the Constitution. Now, the Federal Reserve itself is against the Constitution, right? If you go and read the Constitution, you will see that no outside forces are supposed to have the control of the United States currency. That's supposed to be in Congress, but Congress don't got control of that. Just like we released a video last week where we showed you a letter wrote from the Congresswoman Katie Porter to the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, right? And we read this letter to you, and you can go back on our YouTube channel, Forward Money, and you can pull that up. Go to Forward Money and type in Congresswoman Katie Porter, right? This is significant to what I'm finna say right here, right? Me going through the research and going through the study, it's like I knew this, but I couldn't really put my finger on it, right? Because they got it so tricked up. Now you have shareholders to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, they print the dollars, they make the policies, interest rates, all of this stuff. When homes, cars, loans, business loans, they control all of this. What the interest rates is, what banks can do, what banks can't do. They in control of this, right? Now, the shareholders of the Federal Reserve, they really don't have a face. They're there, but they don't have a face. Nobody really knows who these individuals are. And on a few of them is a group of elite families that control this, right? Now, the Federal Reserve do a lot of buyback in stocks, doing stock buybacks. They do stock sell-off, and they also do a lot of big corporation bailouts. Listen, this is critical. This is critical to understand what we're about to reveal to you. They do a lot of and they bail out the banks, the big banks all the time, right? When they're bailing out the big banks all the time, they are literally paying themselves. What do you mean, Brother Supreme? What I mean is they own and control the big banks. Y'all ain't hearing what we're saying. Listen to what I'm saying. The Federal Reserve is ran by a board of governors. You got 12 branches throughout the United States, and they are ran by a board of governors, and they have a chairman. The chairman right now is Jerome Powell. He's the Federal Reserve chairman. However, behind the scenes of them, the Federal Reserve has share owners to the Federal Reserve. Listen, they have share owners. So the profit that comes to the Federal Reserve through the manipulation, through buying back stocks, through the bailouts, through all of this stuff, through them having control and have put America, the greatest nation on the planet, in their pocket. Every time we pay taxes, we are paying the shareholders of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, the shareholders take that capital and then they buy big corporations' debt. They buy stocks, they bail them out, and they bail out the big banks. But when they're bailing out the big banks, they're literally bailing out themselves, because they own the big banks. That's why when we tell you, when we never talk about the Federal Reserve without saying who they are, the international bankers. Y'all got to see this. This thing is so deep. This is one of the greatest enslavements, greatest scams ever. So I just wanted to share that with us this morning, because it was on my mind and on my heart to do. And I know I promised the video 7 steps to becoming an entrepreneur, or 7 steps to become an entrepreneur full time. I want to talk about that because I am a full-time entrepreneur. It took me, when I got into this space, network marketing, and I started off with cryptocurrency, it took me about 7-8 months to go full time. And I seen other people go full time. So I have 7 tactics or strategies or methods that if you apply them, you can go full time. Now, this is kind of talking to the entrepreneur already, somebody that's already an entrepreneur but not full time. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, this is ways to help you go full time faster also. But primarily, it's for the entrepreneurs who want to go full time but don't really understand how to go full time. You know what I'm saying? Because you got debt, you got stuff you got to take care of, where you just can't sacrifice leaving the job just yet, right? And it's a slow process when you're doing it with the job. You can do it, but if you apply these 7 steps, you will be able to walk away from that job faster, right? And it's proven method. Not only have I experienced primarily all of the 7 steps, I have experienced and practiced majority of these 7 steps, but I have seen some of these steps did forehand from other entrepreneurs and how they was able to walk away. But we're going to go into that. I just want to use my whiteboard to draw it up so you can get a graphic picture of the steps, right? So you can see the steps and they can be more implanted in you. But I'm dealing with lighting, so my lighting is kind of bad. I want to make sure you see it, but we're going to roll that out and we're going to do that. Inshallah, hopefully we can get it today. That's going to be a very significant video that we want to do more entrepreneur strategies and tactics in those type of videos, because I have success in being an entrepreneur, and I have been a full-time entrepreneur. It'll be 3 years in January, so I know some about it. And at this point, I mean, me going to work, getting that's done. I know too much about the Federal Reserve, too much about the dollar to go and even submit myself to that torture like that, right? So look out for that video there. That video is coming. Make sure you're on our Future Money Show tomorrow night at 10 Eastern Standard Time. Please, if you haven't, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forward Money. Follow us on Twitter, Forward Money Network. Follow us on Twitter, Forward Money. Follow us on Instagram, Forward Money Network, and we're on Facebook as Forward Money Network. But please make sure you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you want to be on our waiting list for what we're about to launch within the next couple of weeks, it'll be before 2021. What we about to launch is so massive, so huge. If you want to be and partake in that, if you just want to preview the information as it comes out, you don't have to make a decision. But if you want us to put you on our list and you willing to come and build with us, if you are interested or see an opportunity for yourself when this information comes out or when this opportunity fully launches, then send us an email to get on our waiting list. And we're only looking for serious people. Send us an email with your phone number at forwardmoney76 at gmail.com. The link is running at the bottom of the screen. You see it going across. And before we go, I did want to show y'all a video that I advise everybody to please go and watch it. And it might make you mad as hell now, but please go and watch this video here. This video right here, this first one. You can watch them all. I haven't watched this second one yet, right? And I might chop this one up and bring this to you on future broadcasts or future live streams. The Rise of the Rothschild, right? We need to watch that. 3 million people have watched that. It was posted 2 years ago. Now, this video here is very significant. It was posted 7 months ago. Only 4.3 thousand views, right? Only 4.3 thousand views, so a little over 4,000 views. But I advise everybody, please go to YouTube, type in Century of Enslavement, the Federal Reserve. Please watch that video. Please, like I said, I haven't watched this second one fully yet. And then we're gonna, in the future, we're gonna break this out on future live streams. We're gonna chop this up and break this out so you can see it and get a more understanding on who the Rothschild really are, right? About that significant elite family that set up this banking system. But please go and watch this one here first. Century of Enslavement, the Federal Reserve. Please go to YouTube and watch that. Oh, I got it small. Please go to YouTube and watch that one now. That first one. Century of Enslavement, the Federal Reserve. Please watch it. And like I said, we will go into more into the Rothschild with future live streams and future broadcasts. So with that being said, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want to be on our waiting list for our massive lunch coming real soon, send us an email, forwardmoney76 at gmail.com. With that being said, family, we will see y'all on the next stream. Out.